Well, we're here in the Saint Dié, the Vosges Mountains, starting our little trek following where Dad went on his battlefront during the World War II. His first battle was here in this village. He went on the north side of town with his infantry. You might be able to get a better picture at another spot of the hill. There's a hill on the north side of town, and the Germans started shelling the area that they were on, the road that they were on, but it was really rainy and muddy. They were walking through knee-deep mud at the time, complaining and all that. And the shells started landing, and they would land and they would go into the mud and they wouldn't explode because there wasn't enough contact that just go sinking in the mud. But it scared them enough to get off the road, and they slid down a grassy bank and got off the road and got away from the shelling. But that was his first experience with the combat with the Germans. And we're gonna go on from here and show you some more places. This was towards the end of November 1944. All right, we are on the north side of Saint Dié, where Dad's unit came through. One or two of the other units went through the village itself. Dad's unit was sent to this north side on the hills north of the town. We're on the hills north of the town here. They came from the west, and they were responsible to kind of secure the north side of town and then continue on from there. They talk about coming along on a muddy road, like I mentioned, and then they slid down a grassy hill. So there's lots of grassy hills around here. You can certainly see how that could take place for them to get off the road. It was very wet, so the grass was slick. I'm sure they just slid right off down the hill off of the road here somewhere in this area. So the German strong points were in the Vosges, and they all go that way, the mountains. And that's the direction we'll be going, because that's where Dad went. They were probably stationed up on those mountains across the way there, probably shelling coming this way to where Dad's unit was, and so that's why they had to get away from the shelling. So here's the creek is on the left, and our road is here and the high hill on the right, just like it was described by Dad as they went to the next village. This could very well be that area where they had to cross the creek and then walk the road with the high hill on the right. Okay, we're in the town of Urbay. Urbay is special because they came from the previous villages, came through the valley. When they got here, there was Germans on the outside of town, and Dad was on watch, and we hear the bells chiming now like they may have been doing then. But he was on watch, maybe in a upper room of a house like this, and he heard Germans walking down the cobblestone street, and he yelled out the window. He said, "Hansi Ho!" And they seemed to be more than willing to surrender. They dropped their guns right away and put their hands up, and he caught 4 of Germans at that point, right here in this town. He brought them into the headquarters. One of these buildings was a headquarters, and they asked him what he was doing, and he said, well, I've got 4 prisoners here with me. What am I supposed to do with them? So they took him from there and congratulated him and that kind of thing. And so he was kind of the talk of the town for a while there, but pretty significant moment for him. But he said it wasn't very much of a, they were ready to turn themselves in, surrender, because they were all starving anyway. The Germans were having a hard time getting enough food to eat, so that was pretty cool to be in that town now. Okay, so we're overlooking the town of Itterswiller over here, up on a hill, and this is very possibly the only place that Baker Hill could have been, where Dad and his company fought, overlooking the city. The Germans were down in the valley, and they would send artillery up on the hill, but they also had soldiers up on the hill here. Probably the most extensive battle Dad had ever been in. Many were killed from his group here. Many were injured. Both legs. And Dad got him off the out of the front line, ran back and got a couple of helpers to get him off the hill, and so he ran back offline. He said, I just ran as fast as I ever have, and got a couple guys to come get Stu off the ridge into safety. After the battle was done, they were able to go down into the city, and I don't know if that meant this city here, or if it was Itterswiller, but they took the town, and then they were able to come back up the next day or two, and they gathered ammunition, and they gathered their dead comrades, and they were able to take care of things, all their rifles and that kind of stuff they were able to bring back down. And they then spent the day here or so, and then went on to the town of Epvig, which is the next place we'll stop. But this was the most significant place, November 29th, 1944, where Dad was in his most intense battle, where he knew for sure he killed a couple Germans when they came up the hill in the dark, and he was on duty, and he took care of them at one point, maybe up in these woods behind us here. And then they also had a battle where they were being attacked, and he had one German he killed who landed just about in his foxhole. The only 2 Germans you really knew that he had probably killed. And I think that bothered him some. So it's December 24th, 1944. The American soldiers were over near Ruhling, which is up on top of the hill there. We see that tower. There's another second Ruhling town just right below us at the hill here. And there's a little stream that flows along that town. And Dad's recording, it says that they, somewhere near Ruhling, they came down and crossed a little stream and a farm area, a barn, and then they were crossing a field when the Germans bombed that field, and that's when Dad was injured. They said that the field, they were going to a position where they could overlook the Saar River. The Saar River is right down this way. So it very well could be a field like this, if not this one, where Dad had been injured, because they're maybe going up into the woods behind us to get the position to overlook the Saar River and to hold that position. As he crossed the field with his group of 9 guys, the shrapnel, the bombs landed and the shrapnel went flying. And the first and third guys were killed. Dad was the 5th guy, and he got it in both legs and laid out in the field for some time. First thing he did was throw some sulfur on his wounds. Everybody has a little first aid kit, so that's what the first thing that he did. Took a while, but his buddies came and got him and dragged him near they had kind of hid behind a haystack, and then they came and got him and dragged him off the field. And at that point, they were able to get him to a first aid place, put him on a Jeep, and the Jeep got him to the first aid station. One of the medics from another unit nearby, the medic was able to treat him right away and did a good job with it, and really probably saved his legs. But as you can see, there's a number of fields out here, and it's hard to know which one it was, but somewhere in this area, he was crossing a field, so we're pretty sure we're pretty close here.